Beanies are great, but ears, that's next level adorable. This is a cute, cozy, and of course fun project to make in just under 2 hours. Hey friends, today I'll be showing you how to make this beanie made with the Alpine Stitch while working in the round. Plus, I'll also be sharing tips on how to get the perfect beanie ears for any size. This is a free pattern which you can find available in the link below. Now let's make some ears. I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver in the color Royal and a bit of black to rim the hat, as well as a 5mm crochet hook. You would also need some stitch markers, a tapestry needle, and a measuring tape. Today I'll be making this hat for my son who's 8 years old, and he would fall under the kid category as you can see in the chart here. This means I'll need to work up 56 chains. If you're using a different measurement, make sure to end on an even number. So you'll go ahead and work up a slip knot and the number of chains for your size. Once you've completed all your chains, you'll slip stitch into the first chain to close up the round. Make sure not to twist the chain. You can prevent this by sliding your fingers down the chain from your hook all the way till the end. You'll take that bottom chain and turn it towards your hook and make sure that your working yarn is outside of the loop. You'll find that first chain and work up a slip stitch. Now, I would strongly recommend placing a stitch marker on that slip stitch you just made as your guide when working in the round, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, to start the next round, you'll chain 2. You'll find the next chain and work a double crochet. You'll continue to double crochet each chain all the way in the round. And before I forget, make sure to check that the circumference fits snugly when stretched. If not, just adjust accordingly and remember to end on an even number. Once you've worked your way in the round, your cue to stop will be just before that stitch marker. Without the stitch marker, sometimes the joining chain can be mistaken for the last stitch. Now, to join this row, you'll find the first double crochet post and the chain stitch in front of it is where you'll be working your slip stitch into. Now, to start the next round, we'll chain 2. You'll find the post stitch on the previous row. You'll yarn over, insert your hook behind and through that post stitch. You'll drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is your front post double crochet stitch. Now for the next stitch, you'll see the stitch right next to it and work a half double crochet stitch. Now let's do that one more time. Go ahead and find the next post stitch on the previous row. You can easily do this by skipping a post on that row. You yarn over, place your hook behind and through that post and work a double crochet stitch. Now you'll find the next stitch and work a half double crochet stitch. You will basically be repeating these 2 stitches by alternating between the front post double crochet stitch and the half double crochet stitch all the way in the round. Once you've worked your way all the way in the round, your last stitch should be a front post double crochet stitch. Now you find that first post stitch that you made and the stitch in front of it, and you'll work your slip stitch. For the next row, we'll be starting with the front post double crochet stitch instead. Go ahead and find that post underneath the slip stitch that you just made and pass your hook under and through that post and work your front post double crochet stitch. Now the next stitch will be a half double crochet stitch. So you'll find that next stitch and work a half double crochet. You'll just refer to the stitch on the previous row and work the opposite stitch of what the stitch is. You'll alternate between the half double crochet stitch and the front post double crochet stitch into every stitch in the round. Your last stitch should be a half double crochet stitch. Once you've worked your way all the way in the round, you'll work your last half double crochet stitch. Now you'll find the first post on that round. You'll insert your hook at the top of the post and work a slip stitch. Now for the next row, we'll just repeat what we did on the second row, which is a chain 2, followed by a front post double crochet stitch on top of the previous half double crochet stitch. Next, you'll work a half double crochet followed by the front post double crochet stitch. Here you can see a seamless join if done correctly. From here, you'll just repeat these 2 stitches, alternating on every round until you've reached the height of your hat. I've worked up a total of 17 rounds. And once you're done, your hat should look something like this with a pretty alpine stitch pattern. It should be really stretchy. And if you turn to the seam side, it should be completely invisible. On your last stitch, go ahead and chain 1 and bind off. This will be the bottom of the hat where it is nice and stretchy. Turn this last row bottom side down. And if you compare the stretch on the other side, it definitely does not give the same amount of stretch. So we'll use this side as the top of the hat. Now you'll turn your hat wrong side out. Make sure that the foundation row is at the top and you have the stretchy side at the bottom. Now let's go ahead and seam the top. You can use a tapestry needle by working a mattress stitch at the top, or you can use a crochet hook and work simple single crochet stitches across. I'll be using the single crochet stitch method, so I'll insert my hook at the top of the row. But if you like your ears less pointy, you can start your first and end your last stitch along the post side. So here I'm inserting my hook through the post side. I'll drop a loop and chain 1 to secure. Now I'll insert my hook into the second stitch through the front and back of the hat, and I'll work a single crochet. I'll continue working single crochet stitches through both sides all the way across. And on the last stitch, and if you want your ears less pointy, you'll work through the post stitch by working a slip stitch and chaining 1 to secure. Bind off and turn your work right side out. As you can see, my ears are not pointy, they're a little bit on the rounded side. And all we need is just to finish off with another row along the rim of the hat. Now to tidy up the hat, I'll insert my hook anywhere along the sides. I'll drop a black yarn and I'll chain 1 to secure. For this row, I'll be working a half double crochet row. So you'll just go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch. You'll drop a loop, yarn over, and pull through all loops. You'll work a half double crochet stitch into every stitch in the round. Once you're at your last stitch, just find that first stitch that you made earlier and work a slip stitch. Chain 1 to secure and bind off. Now you can either stop here and still have little ears when you put on this hat, or you can go one step further by enhancing the ears. One way of measuring the ears is by wearing the hat and placing stitch markers on where the ear forms. Another option is to measure anywhere between 2 to 4.5 inches along the sides. For this size, I'll be using 3 inches on each side. Now you'll get a blunt tapestry needle and you'll weave your yarn through. Now you'll basically be weaving through one end of the stitch marker towards the other end in a diagonal line. And make sure you're going through the back of the second piece while you're weaving through. And once you've reached the end, you'll just slightly tug each side of the ends until it forms into a shape of an ear. Something like this. And once you're happy with the shape of the ear, you'll just go ahead and bind off and weave in the ends through the inside of the hat and repeat the same thing on the other side. Now, wasn't that a quick and easy project? I hope you make one soon and tag me on social if you do. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you soon.